The salmon are back in southern Ontario. Now, with the month of October likely to be above average in warmth, is that going to have an effect on the when and the where they run the rivers?
As basically these adult salmon are completing their life cycle, they're returning to their spawning grounds, which is basically upstream through rivers and creeks and tributaries from Lake Ontario.
There are a few species of originally West Coast salmon that now make the journey up the St. Lawrence into Lake Ontario and then up the rivers. The salmon run is not confined to the mouths of Lake Ontario rivers, so don't be surprised to see them well into the northern reaches of the watershed.
They'll go many kilometers. Certainly we see them, all the way through Toronto Region Conservation Authority's jurisdiction, which goes up to the headwaters.
Determining if the warm October weather is having an effect on the salmon run is not simple, and the Toronto Region Conservation Authority is still collecting data, but a few overall ideas have been gleaned.
Can't predict exactly when this phenomenon is going to happen, based largely, we think, on temperature, the water, which is obviously a combination of rainfall and seasonal as well as climatic patterns. It tends to be sort of later in September and October.
So if you want to get out and see the journey these fish are undergoing, there are a few spots that you're better off heading to.
I think there's a few hot spots in the city of Toronto, between Etienne Brûlé Park, right at Old Mill along the Humber. Morningside Park's a great site.
If you're into fishing for these salmon, there are some overall rules. You have to use a fishing rod, no netting, and no picking them up out of the rivers. However, check your local regulations through the Ministry of Natural Resources website.
Most people think of the West Coast and BC, when right here, downtown Toronto, throughout the GTA, there are these opportunities to be a part of this spectacular natural phenomenon.